Are these AI generated wrestling gimmicks good? That is exactly what we are going to figure out in this little game called Push or Bury. I asked AI to come up with 10 original gimmicks, and we're going to ask Dylan if he thinks that they should be pushed or if he thinks they should be buried. Dylan,
Alrighty.
are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's go. We're
All
building
right,
an
now this
empire
is,
with all these gimmicks. We're building the greatest
dude,
roster.
we sure are. And this one is different from our the other one we did because I gave a brief idea for in the last video. I said create me a professional wrestler with a painter gimmick, and then it created an entire wrestling persona. This one I just said create me 10 wrestling gimmicks, and boy do we have 10 wrestling gimmicks. So, let's get this first one. We've got the Glitch, a character who seems to be from a corrupted video game. They move with unnatural speed, teleport short distances using clever stagecraft, and speak in distorted, digitalized voices. Their matches have a chaotic, unpredicted feel as if the very rules of wrestling don't apply to them. The Glitch, Dylan. How we feel about the Glitch? Think this could
I
work?
kind of like the glitch.
I think it could
I
work.
kind of like the glitch. I don't hate it in this day and age. It's got to be done well. It could be like almost like a new age take on sort of that dark character like the Undertaker, like Bray Wyatt, guys who have done that. So I think it's all about having the right guy to harness that gimmick, guy or woman to harness that gimmick. But the glitch, the glitch is getting pushed, Mark. The
All
glitch is
right,
getting
there we
pushed.
go. Shout out to AI, man. 1 for 1 on getting these wrestlers pushed. So let's move on to this next one. We've got the cult leader, a charismatic but sinister figure who slowly gathers a following. They speak in cryptic pronouncements promising power and enlightenment, but with an underlying threat. Their followers could interfere in matches, adding a dangerous element to every appearance. Dylan, do we need a cult leader gimmick?
So, Mark, we've had a ton of cult leader gimmicks over the years, I think.
Sure
I
have.
think the cult leader is one of the go-to for a heel faction sort of vibe. And one thing we're going to do in Burning Hammer Pro Wrestling is we are going to push newness and whatnot. So I think this gimmick has potentially gone a little stale. We're gonna bury the cult leader.
All right. There you have it. Cult leader is getting buried.
It's been done too many times, too well. You know what
That's
I mean?
that's a great point. Um Next up, number 3, we have the Art Thief, a sophisticated and flamboyant heel who steals, quote unquote, steals the signature moves of other wrestlers. They are arrogant and theatrical, mocking their opponents and the history of wrestling. Their matches become a showcase of stolen moves presented with a sense of high art.
Mm,
This one's not bad.
I kind of like this one. I
The
so
Art Thief.
the art.
Come on
So
now.
the thing I'll say, I think we could use a better like a just a we could find a better way to say the art thief. I think the art thief is
Okay.
a little too plain and to the point. I think we need something a little more with a little more ambiance to it. You know what I mean? A little more aura.
Yeah.
Maybe something like the the abstract assassin or something of that's not even that good, but like something um to where you know what I'm trying to say. But
Something that sounds artsy.
yes, something other than just the word art. But with that being said, I'm pushing this guy. This guy might be.
Nice.
I'm getting top mid card heel. This guy can be on the upper mid card, kind of hold down that mid card title scene, as one of my top heels in that picture. That's really what I'm feeling.
All right. Pretty good here. We got 2 for 3. Wrestlers are getting pushed. So, let's move on to number 4. We have the deep sea diver, a massive silent powerhouse who emerges from a cloud of mist and fog, suggesting they come from the deepest parts of the ocean. They wear a stylized diving suit, complete with glowing eyes and hissing sound effects. Their moves are slow but incredibly strong, like the crushing pressure of the deep sea. Dylan, are we pushing or burying the deep sea diver?
I'm not gonna lie, Mark. Not a fan of this one. Not a fan. Don't like this one very much.
Okay.
Like, I kind of get what I think was maybe going for. I think they were kind of trying to pull from Abyss. Like, does that
Sure.
make sense?
Yeah.
Just like the name, like made me think like, oh, are they trying to do like a knockoff Abyss?
Yeah.
And they just
Yeah.
don't understand.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, this is gonna get buried. Not good. Kind of reminds me of what's his face? Never mind. I can't even remember his name, so it doesn't matter. But um, oh, duh. Kind of reminds me of like the giant Gonzalez, like when they threw him out there in like the fur bodysuit against. You know what I'm talking about? When he was
Yeah.
like 10, like that's what I'm picturing with this, and it just doesn't bode well in my head to go over. So we're gonna have to bury the deep sea diver.
All right. So we've got 2 wrestlers are getting buried, 2 wrestlers are getting pushed. Number 5. We've got the reality bender. This wrestler has a tenuous grip on reality and things change around them. The ring ropes might move, the lights flicker, and objects might appear or disappear. This could be played as either a terrifying heel or a misunderstood, almost tragic figure. The reality bender. Are we going to push them or are we going to bury them?
So listen, I don't hate the reality bender. I think it's a little too close to the glitch, though.
Okay.
So I think we're getting like I think the glitch is better, and I think this would almost
Sure.
come off as a knockoff glitch in
Ah,
in Burning Hammer Pro Wrestling. So we're gonna have to
yeah.
bury this
All right.
guy. Gonna have to bury the reality bender
That's
because
that's fair.
because we've decided the glitch is really gonna hold down that side.
The yeah, the glitch is one of our top heels in Burning Hammer
Yeah,
Wrestling.
big time. And
Um,
he's
all right.
he doesn't even have to be he could be like a like I almost think the glitch almost fits the tragic figure almost more. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Very
Yeah.
misunderstood, a smart guy who maybe was cast aside and he needed to find a glitch just to, you know, get recognized in society as anything more than just a weak nerd. And so I don't know. I'm really behind the glitch. I think they sold me on that first one, and they haven't really given me anything quite as good since. So we'll see.
All right. Well, um, we've got an interesting one here, Dylan. Um, number 6, we have the Professor, a cerebral wrestler who is a master strategist. He uses his intellect to outmaneuver opponents, employing calculated moves and exploiting weaknesses. His ring attire could be academic themed, perhaps with a robe and glasses.
We're burying the professor, man. I'm
Ah,
not a fan. I don't think it would go over well in this. I think that only really would bode well as like a comedy gimmick. I think we saw like Damian Sandow kind of push that sort of gimmick, and he did it extremely well. I'm not. This isn't a negative take on that. I'm more saying like I think that's the best that can be done, and I think
sure.
yeah, I don't know. I'm burying this guy. I've only pushed 2 guys, I guess.
Yep, you've only pushed you pushed the glitch and the art thief, name to be determined.
Okay.
So we have we have a few good ones left here. So let's move on to number 7. We have the Mime, a silent
Mime.
but deadly performer who communicates only through exaggerated movements and facial expressions. He can use everyday objects as weapons, like a flower pot or a briefcase. His matches would be a blend of comedy and high flying acrobatics. Dylan, are we going to push or bury the Mime?
I like the mime. We're gonna push the mime.
Mime's getting pushed.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
mime's getting pushed. I could see the mime really holding down that mid card scene. I can see tons of kiddos showing up in the mime face paint, and doing the. I can see his whole thing. It'll be like he's got the whole crowd going before he hits his finisher. He goes, and it's like hits him with one of those. And then, yeah,
You can get all the fans to do it as
that's what I'm
well.
saying. They're like, "Oh my god, here it is!
All the fans would just go,
The change of face!"
yes. That would be his finisher
Yeah,
name.
instead of the change of pace, the change of face. And then,
Nice. All right, man. I think the Mime's getting close to the glitch territory, Dylan.
I like the mime. Yeah, we're gonna push the mime.
I think the Mime could be a staple of the mid card division. I'm
I
honestly
like a nice
surprised
feud.
this is something
I could see a nice,
WWE hasn't done yet.
yeah, I could see a nice feud between the mime and the art thief. Could see that.
Definitely. Definitely. All right. Put a point on the board for pushing. So we got 3 wrestlers are getting pushed, 4 are getting buried. Let's move on to number 8. We have the Time Traveler, a wrestler who claims to be from the future, using futuristic gadgets and technology to gain an advantage. He could have a unique entrance, perhaps arriving in a time machine or using holographic projections. His moveset could incorporate elements of science fiction like teleportation or time manipulation. Dylan, are we going to push or bury the Time Traveler?
We're gonna bury the time traveler. They're really heavy on this stuff.
Okay.
We've gotten
Okay.
the glitch. What was the other one? The second one that I buried?
Reality Bender.
Yeah, and then the time traveler. So the glitch is definitely still the best version of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna
They're all in the same category.
100%. We're gonna bury the time traveler.
All right.
They each
Well-
they got worse each time.
That's true. All right. Let's move on to number 9. We have the Mountain Man, a hulking brute who is a force of nature. He comes to the ring with a wild beard and animal skins, and his moveset is focused on raw power and brute force. He could have a lumberjack-like entrance emerging from the crowd or through the stage. Dylan, are we going to push or bury the Mountain Man? Do we need a lumberjack gimmick?
I think we'll keep him around. We'll keep him on TV, but I guess we'll bury him, but we won't cut him.
Okay. All right.
He seems like a
Interesting.
good worker. We might need him for to step up when we need some muscle for maybe a multi-man match. But I don't love the gimmick, and he's not giving me somebody who's going to. I'm just seeing Braun Strowman, so I'm like, I don't want to. I'm like, I think he's good for something.
Sure. A good hand, I believe is the term.
Yeah, but not sure if I can give him a proper push. So
Okay.
let's get to this last one, and we'll see if they can. We'll see if they top the glitch.
All right. So, for number 10, we have the Ghost, a spooky and mysterious character who appears and disappears without a trace. He could have an eerie entrance with fog and haunting music. His matches would be filled with suspense and unpredictability, with sudden vanishings and reappearing in unexpected locations. Dylan, are we going to push or bury the ghost?
We gotta bury the ghost. It's the same thing again.
All
It's
right.
the
The
same
ghost is
thing.
getting buried.
It's literally the same thing as the time traveler and the reality bender and the glitch, kind of. They're all just different versions of the same thing.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
So yeah, we're gonna go. I think the glitch, the art thief, and the mime are gonna end up being our top 3 stars there.
Yeah, those are the three wrestlers that got pushed, and then you're gonna keep around the Mountain Man,
He's a good
signed
hand.
to the company,
Yeah.
good hands, solid worker, but won't have much television time. So you guys let us know which one of these gimmicks was your favorite down in the comments below. And if you have a good idea for a wrestling gimmick, drop a comment, let us know what it is. And if we get enough of those, we'll do a video reacting to wrestling fans' ideas for wrestling gimmicks. So with that being said, I'm Mark Izzo, he's Dylan O'Brien,
I
and we'll
am.
catch you in the next video.